The mobile gaming industry has seen a massive growth unlike any other industry. This is due to the fact that mobile games have come a long way since those Bounce and Temple Run days. The adoption is further enabled by the wide availability of Android devices that pack a ton of performance at a reasonable price. One of the best value Android gaming smartphones right now is the Black Shark 5. I've had this phone for about 2 weeks now and there's a lot to like about it. Let's check it out. The Black Shark 5 is the latest Android gaming smartphone from, well, Black Shark. Taking a closer look at the device, this smartphone is equipped with the Snapdragon 870 processor, a 144Hz 6.6-inch AMOLED eSports display with a maximum brightness of 1300 nits, a 4650 mAh battery with 120 watts hypercharge support, a sandwich design liquid cooling, stereo speakers, and magnetic pop-up triggers. I really like these pop-up triggers. It's actually one of the factors why I chose this phone. Moving on, we all know that cameras are never the focus of gaming smartphones, but they've come a long way and they're so much better now. The Black Shark 5 has a 64-megapixel main camera, a 13-megapixel wide-angle camera, and a macro camera. Not to forget the front camera, which is 20 megapixels. All of these numbers sound impressive, but we all know that megapixels don't really matter because one of the best smartphone cameras in the market is the 12-megapixel iPhone 13 Pro camera. But we'll check out some photo samples later anyway. Inside the box, you'll get the phone itself, a SIM ejector tool, a fast charge power adapter, a USB-C cable, a quick start guide, and stickers. The Black Shark 5 comes in 2 memory and storage variants with either a black or grey finish. I have the 12GB memory with 256GB storage model in black. Before we get into performance and gaming on the Black Shark 5, can I just say how much I love the way lights reflect on the back of the smartphone? Now to the fun stuff. In my 2 weeks with the smartphone, I mainly played PUBG Mobile, which I think is a fairly intensive mobile game. The Black Shark 5 did not encounter any problems running the game at HD graphics and high frame rate settings. It's no surprise as the device is running the Snapdragon 870 processor and Adreno 660 GPU. In terms of the heat generated when playing heavy games, it's slightly warm but not uncomfortable. I didn't have to resort to using a cooler at all thanks to the sandwich liquid cooling system, which uses vapor chambers instead of thermal gels. As mentioned before, one of the key features why I chose the Black Shark 5 was the magnetic pop-up triggers. Those capacitive touch triggers on other gaming smartphones just didn't do it for me. It's actually quite uncomfortable pressing hard on something that doesn't move. I know that a tap is enough to activate the capacitive button, but there's no way I'm gently tapping on the triggers when that's the button I've assigned for shooting. The pop-up triggers are also not limited to just gaming. You can assign them to launch apps, become the shutter button, and so much more. Another gaming feature on the Black Shark 5 is the dual zone pressure sensitive display. This allows 3D touch functionality on the left or right side of the display. This is a cool feature and enables complex operation with 2 fingers, but honestly, I don't use it because I just don't have the mental capacity to handle that many actions with my fingers. But with that being said, if you're a professional gamer, this feature can definitely provide you with the competitive edge. Lastly, to tie all these features together is the Gamer Studio. I found this overlay menu very helpful when gaming. In the center, you have important information such as the connection status, game FPS, and the performance load the phone is experiencing. One of my most used features of Gamer Studio is assigning the gaming triggers via the master control settings. These triggers help so much when playing first-person shooters. With all the fun stuff out of the way, let's take a quick look at some pictures that I took with the cameras on the Black Shark 5. Generally, I think the photos look okay. The front camera portrait mode is very clean. The rear camera portrait mode struggled a little near the edge of the lens, most likely because it was overexposed there and the AI had trouble separating the subjects. Lastly, the telephoto lens looks sharp but the colors are a little undersaturated. If we compare it with my iPhone 13, you can see that the rear portrait camera has much better separation despite having the same overexposed situation near the lens. The bokeh on the iPhone is also much more prominent. In terms of the telephoto lens, you can now clearly see how undersaturated the photo on the Black Shark 5 is. However, if you enable AI mode on the camera, a little saturation is added back. The one thing that surprised me is the portrait mode on the front camera. If you compare the two images, the Black Shark photo is actually better. You can see a cleaner separation around my hair and I'm not sure why, but I look thinner in the Black Shark image. I know the angle is slightly higher, but trust me, I've switched off any filters or AI processing, but it looks like there's still some skin smoothing happening. Not complaining though, because I really look much better in this photo. Lastly, I'd like to just mention that there is a Pro Photo mode which allows you to fine-tune all the settings to get that perfect shot. You can also take a 64 megapixel photo in this mode. So I've been using this phone for about 2 weeks now, and I must say, in terms of gaming, the Black Shark 5 is excellent. I usually game using earphones, but the stereo speakers on this smartphone is excellent. I can still tell where the enemies are coming from when playing PUBG Mobile. Besides that, the cameras, as you saw, are not bad at all. At the starting price of $549 or 2,299 ringgit for the base model, I don't think there's a better value gaming smartphone out there. There are a few other features that I'd like to mention briefly because it definitely made the phone experience much better. Firstly is the 120 watts hypercharge. With this, you can expect a full charge in just 15 minutes. For a gaming smartphone, this is a life-saving feature to have so you can quickly juice up your phone before leaving. Secondly, there is a bypass power supply mode. The adapter will bypass the battery and directly power up the phone, which protects the battery life in the long run and helps with heat dissipation. Alright, let's wrap things up. As mentioned throughout this video, I truly believe that the Black Shark 5 is the best value Android gaming smartphone in the market right now. There are definitely a ton of better gaming smartphones with better specifications and all the bells and whistles such as an internal fan and RGB, but they get pretty pricey. Speaking of better and more expensive phones, there is a Black Shark 5 Pro that comes with a more energy efficient CPU, increased screen brightness, a 512GB storage option, HDMI over USB, and a few other extras. However, this is still a better value package and what I would personally recommend you getting, unless you are planning to live stream with the Black Shark 5 using a capture card. That's not possible because it doesn't support HDMI over USB. I really wish this wasn't the case because after all, this is a gaming smartphone. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in getting the Black Shark 5, you can find all the purchase links in the description box below. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook because I do gaming streams every Tuesdays and Thursdays. See you all for the next one. Bye!